big trouble for the names in Comicsgate that people kind of recognize at this point, as Jon Malin's launched a new campaign for his second Godlike book. The first one just did not impress. It took 3 years to get out to backers. Again, it's one of these guys who is putting out a very short book and not able to deliver. And people are fed up with it. Now, couple that with this whole collapse in the whole structure, where there's really no real comic creators around anymore. The movement's clearly not about comic books anymore. It's just about attacking Eric July and his comic book business relentlessly over on Ethan Van Sciver's channel. And these guys basically don't have their own platforms themselves. Malin's got his Jack show continuing on, which doesn't even have Kelsey Shannon anymore because he, of course, turned that guy off with his antics. And he's just been a disaster. This is a nasty individual who leached onto this movement, an Obama voter who then pretended he was canceled after making a cable, miniseries, which nobody remembered, which did not have the best art to it either. And then he saw a little grift going on, and he signed up with Richard C. Meyer as his channel was getting going. They had Jawbreaker. That was a pretty lackluster book. And you've just seen this lack of work ethic over the years from these guys, and you kind of see, okay, well, this is what got them to this point. Now, Godlike did tremendously well 3 years ago, $258,000, insane numbers, and 2,800 backers. You would expect that if he just delivered and just followed up on that, he'd be garnering similar numbers, maybe even greater numbers. But it's collapsing in real time, and it's mostly Ethan Van Sciver's fault for turning off the comic audience, and these guys, and Jon's fault too for just not working very hard. 3 years for a comic book is unacceptable, obviously. All right, we'll get into what's happening on with the new one and where all this started, yikes. In just a moment. My name's John Delarose, everybody, and while their stonks are going down, mine are going up. I just had my second book in my series, and when I mentioned this the other day, one of them's like, it's a book 2, of course it's going to go lower than book 1, and I'm just like, my book 1 did $33,000 and 560 backers. My book 2 did $51,000 and 6. So, oh gosh, I gained 54%. Wow, that's a big increase right there, and it's because the book 1 was so good, it's undeniable, and that's what we have going on here. We are the spot where there's real comic creators, real comic readers. We talk about comic books, we care about comic books, we actually produce, we get these done in a timely manner. The book's already done, and I'm getting it all ready for print right now, and as we get it ready for print, you can still back this on my pre-order store now that the Kickstarter's ended. This has all of my books on it. You can see everything I've come out with. It actually had a Jon Malin cover back in 2017 on one of my books here, and back when he was still drawing a little bit more and not just streaming. And here we've got all of these wonderful books that we've come out with in the meantime. Don't miss that, and don't miss this great book, Robo-Toad Wrecked Manlet. This is a wonderful book about a robot frog. I hear there's another parody of my book that came out after this, but this is the brand new edition of it. It's great stuff, and you'll love it. So make sure to pre-order these here on the Backer Kit store. Thank you guys so much for the support and reading real comics. Having real readers is a big thing, and these guys just got people just buying stuff. They didn't really read the books for a long time, and it kind of shows. Now, Jon Malin's been on the same train, just attacking Eric July, just being Ethan's right-hand kind of goon. And when Ethan was canceling me right before this campaign ended, they did a big cancel attempt, guys. Really funny that it ended up this well. About that last week of the campaign, Ethan went really hard making up some weird narrative that I'm doxing him and stuff. And he's done this before to me. Back in the day when he had this war campaign, personal army, they would go and destroy people. They'd just repeat things over and over and over again as hard as they could and get other people to do it too in order to try to get them canceled. And it didn't work this time. I didn't lose any followers. My YouTube kept growing. Obviously, my Kickstarter did phenomenally. I didn't lose any backers over it. And it was it was a really pathetic attempt. And he was really mad that my stuff's growing. He's really mad that people are watching this channel here. And he actually got Jon Malin involved. And I saw this, and I knew Jon Malin was launching a campaign soon because this is very out of character for Malin. He never mentions me. Does not ever. And so him doing this right here, coming up on this, and doing this is obviously a, hey Ethan, I'm gonna make sure my fans attack this guy too, so they don't back him too. right ahead of his campaign, right? And so on September 8th, he says he follows up with the nonsense. Allegedly, JDA tried or did dox EVS. I'm just hearing this, so short on details. Short on details because there's no details. He's making it up. Just a reminder that 4 years ago, JDA threatened to dox Clint Stoker, sending Clint a DM with Clint's home address and the message, "If you want to F with me." It was featured on Malin after midnight. Now, that was a narrative that was a big lie, too, as, of course, I had people coming at my family and all that, and actually, like really showing personal information on Clint's channel in the comments, because Clint was, at the time, doing Ethan's bidding and all that. Clint has stepped away from that, doing great work. He's a good comic creator. I have no problem with him. But I told Clint, hey man, you can't have this stuff going on your channel. You have to remove stuff about people's personal details and the like. This is not okay. So basically, my family was doxxed, and then I said, how would you like it if somebody was doing it to you, because your address is out there. And of course, I wouldn't do that ever. But I wanted to make a point that this is not okay to do to me. If you do unto others as you'd like done unto you. And Clint did delete the comment at the time. Now this was orchestrated by EVS. There's multiple posts going around that show how EVS does target families, and of course he targeted my wife last week too, which was really a lot of fun. So very nasty individuals. And then they try to turn that on other people when in the process. So it's all a big lie, and Malin knows it's a big lie. And the only reason he's doing this is because it's in advance of his campaign. And Ethan was trying so hard to get me canceled. He had Malin go at me. He had this author named Larry Correa go at me. He was riling up or attempting to rile up big audiences. Now the problem is that he faced is Ethan, Malin, and Larry Correa are all outdated boomer tier people who aren't really relevant in today's discussions on comics or anything. So no comic readers actually cared about this, and then no comic readers actually cared about Godlike. This is where it gets really crazy. So you can see how this tracked. And as you see, with the 258,000 so many backers, he had a huge launch day one. Now, Jon Malin's not growing fan bases, and so you get your biggest pop on day one of these campaigns, unless you have a growing fan base, where things can pop later. Now, my book, again, I have a growing fan base. People are discovering us left and right. Thank you. If you're new, please hit the like and subscribe. Because of that, people were coming in through over the course of the campaign. Malin's got an established fan base that's going back to 2017. It's the same people. His YouTube's not growing. It's shrinking. He's got, if you look at it, this is his gained subscribers. You can see it's mostly just kind of in the down, but it's not many. He gains a couple subscribers a month and drops subscribers for the most part. And so, he was up at I think 12.1K, 12.2K at some point. He's now down to 12K. Not growing, not doing anything, not really, trying to grow anything in his business or anything like that either. And so he had his 103 hit right away, which is not quite half, about 40% of his whole campaign on day one. Day two was 110, so he's still growing pretty good. He's gaining a few thousand every day during this campaign. And you could see where this happened in 2021, August 2021. Fast forward to a few years later, we're at $70,000, and we're on day three. So you can see how flat this trajectory is compared to the other graph. He really has lost a lot of his audience. Not only did it day one, 100,000 to 66,000, so that's 66% of his audience. So he lost 33% of his audience for the day one backers. And again, he should be having higher day one backers at this point because that fan base got the first book, and so they should be coming in from the 2,800 backers. Even if half of them came in, he should have gotten 900 or 1,000 of them day one. He's only at 702 backers as of day three. What's interesting, he launched on his own channel, and he'd been hyping it for a bit. Then he went on Ethan Van Sciver's show the next day. And you could see this is where Ethan's because Ethan's show used to get these people 20, 40K a pop. Ethan's show now has only gotten about $3,000-$4,000 for Jon Malin going on Ethan's show and promoting his books. These guys have completely lost their juice all the way around. Now, day three just barely popped another $1,000. So it's really his audience base is shrinking. There's nothing going on there. Backer Kit is still looking at it from a trajectory of a normal campaign where it's going to go up because they're going to be exposed to more of an audience, and they're still projecting it's going to be $184,000. That number, by the way, as each day goes on and the amounts are a lot smaller than the prior campaign, that number is going to be projected number is going to be lowering as it goes along. So 258 already going from 258 to a projected $184,000. That's a big drop. It's we're talking a percentage wise about 30% drop in backers because of people just tuning out from these guys. And it's all because of their weird, hateful stuff like this. When you just attack other creators and you're about doing this to me and doing this to Eric July, and there's no reason here. Like, Malin had no reason to go after me other than Ethan told him to. It's all because we produce and we make them look bad. When they come out with like this, C-tier book with like very bloated, crazy writing that's like impossible to read, and it takes 3 years to do so, you have a problem at that level, especially when their competition, us, comes out with a book that everybody loves with good storytelling and just some excellent characters and world building, and it takes us, a couple months after the campaign. That's why they're working so hard to try to cancel us. That's why they're working so hard to go after us, and that's why they're losing their audience, because the contrast is clear. We're here. Our movement here is very, very explicit for what we are. We're about production. We're about, of course, fighting against mainstream Marvel and DC corporate culture and the evils there. We are a unabashed Christian nationalist movement and promoting good values, promoting heroism with our characters. And we're about hard work and making sure that hard work prevails and that we do things better and work harder every single time out the gate because we want to please you. Look, Overmind was a great book. Everybody loved it. Wonderful reviews on it. You can go look those up. And that's why this did so well. The Hidden Emperor, we want to make even better. I mean, we now have more people giving us more funds on this. The point's to work harder. It's not to rest on our laurels here. And I hope we earn your support. If you missed the campaign, you could back it here. There's all sorts of awesome books you can check out too. Anything that speaks to you, please check it out and support real independent comics. And we're gonna be doing more. I mean, I'm gonna be launching another comic in just a few weeks here. Because I'm excited. I'm making more comics. I'm burning the candle at both ends for you guys, and the contrast is very, very clear from these guys who just want to sit there and stream and complain about Eric July. Their comics are failing. It's because they don't care about them, pretty obviously. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Very, very sad. I would like an apology, Jon Malin, since you're going to watch this. That'd be nice, since you libeled me and maligned me. That's pretty terrible of you, even though it didn't do anything. Hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. And please back the Hidden Emperor. Pre-order it right here. Thank you guys so much for all the support so far.